Hey guys, it's Emily, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the books that I plan on reading in February. So if you guys have been following along for a while, you know that I am not a TBR person. I usually don't do them on my channel because I am much more of a mood reader. I don't stick to TBRs when I set them, so I usually try to avoid them. But since I am participating in 2 readathons this month, I just thought that I would share with you guys the books that I plan on reading for those. And so my TBR is going to be divided into 4 sections, and the first one is the books that I'm currently reading. So the books that I started reading in January and then get around to finishing, and then I'm hoping to finish in February, of course. The first one of these books is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. This is the 4th book in the Harry Potter series, as you guys probably know. And if you have been following me, you will know that I started rereading the series. It's my first time rereading it since I first read them as a child, and I have been vlogging my experience. So if you guys want to check out the previous vlogs in this series, they will be linked up above. But I have been rereading this for my Goblet of Fire vlog. I have about 150 pages left to read, not even that I think, and I'm really hoping to finish it this weekend. Actually, as I'm filming this, it's currently February 1st, so I'm hoping to finish it like today or tomorrow so that I can upload the vlog. I don't know why it's taking me so long to read this, maybe because it's a big book, it's like 600 pages, but I've been flying through it. It's just that I really want to take my time with those because they're a read for me. It's my favorite series. I want to make sure that I really explain my thoughts and feelings when I'm reading this in the vlog, so it's been taking me a little bit longer than I had anticipated. The second book that I started reading in January but didn't finish is The Last Life of Prince Aster by Alexandra Bracken. This is the second book in the Prosper writing duology, and we are following this young boy Prosper, whose great something grandfather made a deal with a demon like a while back to grant him fortune and success in exchange for eternal servitude. However, the family betrayed him, and now Aster, the demon, is out for revenge, and Prosper is gonna have to try to break the curse that has been put on his family. I really enjoyed the first book, and so I'm really hoping I will enjoy this one just as much. I am only on page like 40 of this. I haven't really made a lot of progress with it, but I'm hoping to read this in February. I read the first one a while ago though, so like it's taking me a little bit of time to get back into the spirit of this book. I feel like I don't remember everything that happened, and that's normal because I read it like in 2018 or something like that, and now we're in 2020, so I mean it's been at least a year since I've read this, and it's taking me a bit more time than I had thought to read this, but I am very much looking forward to it nonetheless. And it's a middle grade, and I'm sure it's going to be just as fun and whimsical as the first book. So the second category in my TBR is readathons that I'm participating in. So the first readathon that I will be joining is a Contemporary-a-thon hosted by Chelsea over at Chelsea Darling Reads, and also Julie over at Pages and Pen, and Natasha, I believe. I will link everyone in the description box down below if you want to check them out. But this is the 6th round of the Contemporary-a-thon. It's my 2nd time participating, or 3rd if you count the weekend round that happened in the fall. But I participated last year and I really enjoyed my experience. Contemporary is probably my favorite genre, so I am very pumped for this. I have the challenges on my phone, and as you'll notice, I am missing some of the books that I'm planning on reading for this, but I ordered the books earlier this week and they were supposed to get here by the end of the week, and Canada Post lost my package. How great. But I talked with Indigo Chapters and they are sending me a replacement. Thank you to them. And so I will be getting the books soon. I just don't have them now. I was hoping to get them before I could film this TBR, but I don't. So we're just gonna go with it. So the first challenge is to read a book with green on the cover, and for that I chose The Simple Wild by Kay Tucker. I was really hoping to read this nonetheless, and I'm just really happy that green was the color that they picked for this round of the readathon because I wanted to read this. So we're following this girl Kala. I believe she is like an influencer or something like that. She lives in Toronto, and one day she finds out that her estranged father is sick and that they are counted. So she goes back to Alaska where he is and where she's from and try to spend time with him and just get to know him better before it's too late. And while she's there, she's going to meet this boy who works for her father. I think it's a second chance romance. I'm not entirely sure, but I just know that these two characters are going to have something going on, and I'm very excited. I've heard so many great things about this book, and this book is actually going to be the one that I picked for the challenge of reading a book that is beloved by a member of the community. So I'm using this for 2 challenges. This book has been recommended by so many booktubers that I love and trust, such as Chelsea, Heather over at Bookables, Riley at Riley Marie. I think Melanie over at Melody Annie also really liked this, and I believe there's a sequel coming out in February, March, April, like soon. And so if I like this one, I will probably want to read the sequel, but I'm very excited. I heard the setting, like the Alaska setting, is incredible, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this. The second challenge, or third, since I've already mentioned 2 challenges is to read a book by a new to you author, and for that I'm going to be using Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. This is a book that I was supposed to get and isn't here yet, and I've been anticipating this book so much. I just really want to read this. It's about these two characters, Pepper and Jack, and they both work at their family's like fast food joint type of thing, and they run their Twitter account, and one day they start a fight regarding a recipe, like a Twitter war about this family recipe. I think I'm just so excited. It's like a hate to love kind of romance, and I'm just here for it. I heard great things about it so far. After Chelsea recommended it, I wanted to read it. I'm so excited for this. It sounds exactly like something I'm really gonna enjoy, so hopefully I will, and I'm just so excited. The cover is also really pretty. I just cannot wait to hold this book in my hands and finally read this. I might cave in and read this before the Contemporary-a-thon, and if that's the case, I have other books that I can use for this prompt, but since this is Emma Lord's first book, I think this is going to be perfect for this challenge. Challenge number 4 is to read a diverse contemporary, keeping in mind that it's Black History Month. I struggle a little bit with this challenge, not because I don't want to read diverse books, mostly because I don't own a lot and I'm trying to buy less books this year. Like, the books that are written by diverse authors that I currently own are mostly like fantasy, so I was struggling a little bit for this challenge, but I will be reading The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I've heard great things about it. I really like Elizabeth Acevedo's writing. I read With the Fire on High earlier this year and I really enjoyed it. I've been told that this book is written in verse, which is very intriguing. I have not read a lot of books written in verse. I think this is going to be a first for me, and I've heard that the audiobook is the way to go for this one, so this is what I'm going to be doing. I have heard great things about the audiobook specifically, so I'm really excited to read it, and I think Elizabeth herself, like the author, is narrating it, so that's going to be quite the experience. I don't know too much about the plot of this book. I just think it's about this girl doing slam poetry. I'm also going to be using it for the darker hard-hitting contemporary challenge. This is another one that I struggled with because I didn't own anything like that at the moment, but a lot of reviews that I read for this book talked about how hard-hitting and just emotional and heartbreaking this book is, so I think I'm going to count it for that. But if you guys have any other recommendations, or if you think that this book doesn't fit this challenge at all, let me know. So challenge number 5 is to read a backlist contemporary, so a book that has been on your TBR for over a year, and that is perfect because that is also the challenge for the Basically Readathon. Not sure if I mentioned the dates for either of those readathons, but the Contemporaryathon happens from February 10th until the 16th, and the Basically Readathon, hosted by Basically Brit, happens on February 15th. And the challenge for the Basically Readathon is to read a book that has been on your TBR forever, and so this is perfect that this is also a challenge for the Contemporaryathon because I'm going to be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And the book that I chose for that is Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Walsh. I actually acquired this book quite recently, like in November, but I've checked and I had this book on Goodreads in 2016, so I've wanted to read this book for 4 years, so I think this counts. Like, I'm very excited. I don't know too much about the plot of this one specifically. I just know that it takes place in Italy and we are following this girl who's going there, I think against her will, but I'm not exactly sure. And I love YA travel novels. I haven't read one of those in ages and I'm craving it at the moment, so this is going to be perfect. I also bought the companion novel to this, which is Love and Luck, so if I like this I can also read the sequel. I've heard that this is also kind of like heartbreaking in a way, so maybe I will be able to count it for the hard-hitting challenge. Not too sure, but I've been wanting to read this for a while, not even knowing what it's about, so I think it's about time that I finally find out and see whether I like it or not. And that leaves us with 1 challenge, so I think I might have miscounted because I've been doubling up with some books. But challenge number 7 is to read a book with an illustrated cover, and for that I'm going to be using Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. This is a book that I've pre-ordered and it's on its way, so I should be getting it by the time the Contemporary-a-thon happens. If not, I have backups, but I am so excited for this volume. I love Heartstopper with all of my heart. It is such a cute and fluffy and just, oh, I don't know, I just love this graphic novel series so much. It's about these 2 boys, Charlie and Nick, and they fall in love basically, and it's just, oh, it's been the greatest series. Honestly, I love it so freaking much, and I am so excited for this new volume. Our next category for my TBR is going to be romance books. It's February, and so Valentine's Day is around the corner, and even though I'm not necessarily celebrating, especially since my parents are going to be away and I'm just going to be alone at home, yeah, but I don't know why every year I'm in the mood to read some romance books. So I have a couple on my TBR that I would like to get to, and the first one of those is Undercover Bromance by Lisa K. Adams. This is a sequel to the Bromance Book Club, which I absolutely loved. I read that in January and fell in love with it. Basically, we're following these male characters and they are trying to use romance books to help them in their love life, and I just love the concept of this, like men reading romance books and using them I like that so much. I love the concept. And in this new book, we are following Mac, who is one of the characters that we meet in the first book. And I really wanted to learn more about him. I just feel like we didn't get much of him in the first book, but I'm also very curious about how they're gonna integrate the book that they are reading for this book, if that makes sense. Basically, in the sequel, the Bromance Book Club is reading a spy book, so I'm very curious to see how they're going to use that. I got an arc of this book, and the actual book is coming out on March 10th, but I really want to read it before the book comes out so that I can get my review out. So I'm hoping to be able to read this month. I am so excited for this. Up next, we have another one of my most anticipated releases of 2020, and that is Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. I am a big Becky Albertalli fan. I read pretty much everything she has ever written so far, and I've never read anything by Aisha Saeed, so I think it's going to be a nice duo, a nice combo. I'm very excited. I don't know too much about the plot of this. I just know that Becky Albertalli is involved, so there's a big chance that I'm going to love it. And I think we're following these two main characters who are campaigning or canvassing for like a political campaign. Don't know too much about the plot besides that, but I'm interested. I mean, the cover is super cute and I'm just intrigued. I want to know more. The book comes out on February 4th, but my pre-order is coming in, so I should be getting it soon. The next book that I would like to read is Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. So in this book, we're following our main character, Evie Summer, and her job is to find out, because if she can convince her film agency's biggest client, Ezra Chester, to write the romantic comedy screenplay he owes producers, her career will be over. The catch, he thinks rom-coms are unrealistic and he'll only put pen to paper if Evie shows him that it's possible to meet a man in real life the way it happens on the big screen. Cynical Evie might not believe in happily ever after, but she'll do what it takes to save the job that's been her lifeline, even if it means reenacting iconic rom-com scenes in public. Spilling orange juice on a cute stranger? No problem. Leaving a number in books all over London to see who calls? Done. With a little help from her well-meaning friends and Ben and Annette, the adorable father-daughter duo who keeps witnessing her humiliations, Evie is determined to prove she can meet a man the way Sally met Harry. But can a workaholic who's given up on love find a meet-cute of her very own? So I'm very intrigued. I just love the concept of this, the fact that they're reenacting rom-com scenes. I mean, count me in. Rom-coms are my fave movies, so very excited. The next book that I'm hoping to read is Addicted After All by Krista and Vicki Ritchie. This is the third book in the Addicted series, but like sixth, or maybe I think it's a sixth book in the overall overarching Calloway Sisters and Addicted world, universe, whatever you want to call it. As you guys know, I've been making my way through this series. I finished reading the books that I had read in the past, and now I'm on to reading new books, and this is going to be my first time reading this one. I am so excited. I just love Lily and Lo, our main characters, and this is a chunker. I mean, it's like 500 pages, so I am so down for this. I am super excited, and I cannot wait to see what is in store for our two main characters next. Finally, in the romance category, I would like to read The Goal by Ellie Kennedy. This is the fourth and final book in the Off-Campus series. This is the only one in the series that I have yet to read, and I'm really excited to read this one so that I can move on to Ellie Kennedy's other work. To be honest, I'm not too sure whether or not I'll be liking this book, even though it follows our main character John Tucker, I think his name is, which makes me really laugh because it reminds me of John Tucker Must Die. It also deals with my least favorite trope. I'm not too sure what to think about it. I'm really excited because we're following a character that I have been wanting to learn more about, but also the trope, I hate it. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but I still am gonna try to read this month. I really need to finish this series. And the last category is like Miscellaneous or Other, just books that I'm hoping to read this month for several reasons. They don't really fit into the romance category or the Contemporary-a-thon or basically Readathon. The first one of those is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I am a huge Disney fan, as you guys know, and I have also been trying to read more classics this year. This is one of my goals. I'm trying to read one classic every other month, and I have not read one in January, so we have to read one in February. So I'm hoping to read Peter Pan. I'm actually gonna buddy read this with Mary from Mary Among Stories, and I'm kind of curious to see what this is all about. I love the Disney version and the live action movie. I love the story of Peter Pan, but I've been told that the original is kind of dark and not necessarily what you would expect from it, so I'm quite curious. I have the audiobook narrated by Lily Collins, who I absolutely adore, and I want to know what it's all about. I will also probably rewatch the Disney movie version afterward, just so that I can compare. The next book that I'm finally going to be reading, hopefully, is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. No, I have not read this book yet. I have talked about it several times. I know that this is a very beloved book. Everyone in the booktube community has read this, but not me. For some reason, I'm terrified of this book because there's so much hype surrounding it. It's everyone's favorite book of 2018, basically, and I bought it last year thinking, oh, I'm finally gonna read this, but I'm terrified that I'm not gonna love this as much as everyone else does. So I'm finally gonna try to read this month. I mean, it's time, people. I've waited long enough. It's time for me to read this. We're following our main character, Helen Hugo, as she tells her story to this unknown journalist who's trying to make it in the industry, Monique, and she decides to finally open up for the very first time about her life, basically. And Monique is hired to just write her biography. I'm intrigued. I'll be honest, like, I love old Hollywood and everything surrounding it, but I'm also terrified because I'm afraid I'm not gonna love this. But I do like Taylor Jenkins Reid. I mean, I've read other of her books before and really enjoy them, so hopefully I will like this one as well. But yeah, it's time to finally bite the bullet. Let me know, by the way, if you guys would like me to film a reading vlog of me reading this for the first time. Finally, the last book that I'm hoping to read in February is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So it's kind of outside of my comfort zone. If you guys know me, you know that I don't really read mystery thrillers. I typically am very disappointed by mystery thrillers. I've yet to find some that I really enjoy. Like, there's a couple that I can say for a fact that I love, but it's very rare for me to like read those because I'm always disappointed by the ending. I just find them to be predictable, so I don't read a lot of those. But Agatha Christie is like the queen of mystery, and even says so on the cover right here. I don't know if you can really read it because it's not focusing. I'm hoping to read this. I don't know the plot of this too much. I just think that there's like 10 people on an island and suddenly they start dying one by one and they have to figure out who's killing everyone. So interesting. And I think I would also consider this to be a classic because Agatha Christie is such a well-known author for mystery thrillers and she's like the queen of mystery. So I think I would count it toward like my classic challenge. So I would really like to read this. I mean, it's super short too. It's like 250 pages. I want to read some of Agatha Christie's books because I've heard great things about the author and I've heard great things about the book specifically. So I'm hoping I'll be able to read it this month. I'm very intrigued by the premise and yeah, hopefully I will enjoy it. So that's it for my TBR. I have like 15 books on my TBR at the moment. I'm not sure I'll be able to read everything, but we'll try our best. I will be vlogging for the Contemporary-a-thon and the basically Readathon, so make sure you guys subscribe if you're not already. I will also be vlogging, of course, for Goblet of Fire, and that should be coming soon, so if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you guys have read any of the books that I've mentioned in this TBR, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to see which ones you think I should read and which ones you think I would enjoy. But I guess that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!